Hi, everyone. Thank for being here. This is a very special moment. I'm joined by two special people, and we are here to know them better. And I do hope you join us. And for the next half an hour, something like that, you'll get to know them as much as I do, and I hope you enjoy. So I'm here with Dr. Adelino Cunha and Dr. Adil Dalal. And well, maybe we'll start with Adelino. Could you please introduce yourself and tell our audience who is Adelino?
Okay, thank you, Cristina, and thank you, Dr. Adil, for being here with me. So it's a pleasure to be with you both. Um, well, I'm usually I used to say that I'm a simple guy. I'm a happy person, and most of the times that's it. Because just telling this, sometimes people imagine how in the world someone is able to say that I is happy. So, but this is what's happening with me. So, I started trying to be a doctor, and at the age of 17, I realized that that was not my mission. So I went to something similar to be a doctor. So I went to applied mathematics and computers. As you know, it's very similar to be on the medicine area. And I started there. And at the same time, I started my own personal journey, studying and trying to understand who am I. Who am I? And the personal development area started when I was 17. And I usually say until yesterday night. So today I'm 61 years old. And until yesterday at night, I start reading at least 50 minutes a day. So it was a long journey for more than 40 years. That in the meantime, I studied applied mathematics. I went to a company, a software development company in Portugal, one of the biggest companies here. 7 years after, I was a member of the board. 3 years after being a member of the board, I realized that I was not happy, so I went out. I started my own company in 1997, and after some years working on the IT area, I realized that I have to build something that is unique from Portugal. So in 2003, I created a brand called I Have the Power. I believe it's a strong brand because only think about this. We start better the day, every day. And well, in the meantime, we quickly passed 22 years, almost 22 years. And today we have customers from 83 countries. So we work on the NLP area, coaching, personal development, leadership, whatever. So it was a beautiful journey. And I believe we are still beginning. And in the meantime, in Dubai, I had the pleasure to meet Dr. Adil, and immediately we connect each other, and we thought probably we could join forces, so to build something bigger than ourselves and to bring what we feel about this to other people that desperately need to improve their lives and to be happier people. So this is, in a quick shot, this is how I feel today. So thank you to the invitation and thank you for the opportunity to be here.
Oh, thank us. And Dr. Adil, could you do
Thank
something of
you.
the kind?
Thank you very much. Thank you, Christina. Thank you for inviting us for this wonderful session. And my brother Adelino, thank you. It's been a pleasure, and I think we have a long journey ahead. And so a little bit about my background is uh, I'm a kind of master of all, or a jack of all, master of none, I would say. But I try to be master in everything I do. So I think, Adelino, what you were talking about in Dubai, you were talking about the mindset of excellence. That's the keynote I did. And to me, my entire career has been defined by that, by the, mindset of excellence, because I started in India, came to the US for my master's, and worked for a very big medical company. And it was a company that grew 20% every year for 30 plus years. So it was always a go, go, go. every second, every minute was always a go. So, and the beauty of that is I met some amazing people. A lot of the people I worked with were either directly from the Army, Navy, Air Force, Navy SEALs, submarine captain. I had a helicopter pilot who's still a very good friend of mine. So when you work with these people who have come to a medical industry, and you see the quality they bring, it raises your quality too. So to me, the company I used to work for became my university. I learned a lot there. I also gave back quite a bit. I ran a few acquisitions for them. I transformed three of their divisions. So that gave me the confidence that no matter what, I could lead massive programs and massive projects. This company, I mean, each of these divisions were 300, $400 million. So to convert that completely was quite a challenging task. Since then, in 2004, I started my company called Pinnacle Process Solutions. Since then, I've worked across 5 continents, over 125, Fortune 500 companies. I ended up getting my doctorate. I have written 4 books. There are 3 books coming out this year. So I'll be on number 7, hopefully, this year. So I think that's why Adelino and I connect well, because we have some very similar passions. And I'm also on the Forbes Coaching Council. So I write, a lot of articles on different topics, from AI to the human side of things. My passion is the human side of things. And so I think uh, where Adelino and I connect is that we have similar ideas, but also, uh, life is short. People don't realize is that to spend time with people you like and enjoy working with is a powerful message. Right? You can have someone who's giving you a lot of money, but if you're not enjoying that, then it's not worth it. It's like anything which costs you your peace of mind is too high a price to pay. So I
Yes.
like working with people that are, simple, just like myself, and are, honest and love to do something be above and beyond us, and try to give back to the next generation. And so that is my passion, and I really enjoyed that. So thank you.
Thank you. So let's keep this going. And
Sure.
Adelino, could you tell us, why is it important to be happy? Why is it important to achieve success?
Well, I think most of the people, they spend most of their time working.
Yeah.
So can you imagine spending most of your life not being happy, not being realized, fulfilled on what you do? So I can't imagine that. So some years ago, I decided I have to decide. I am. This is a decision. Happiness is most of the time a personal decision. So I realized that, and after some moments working, I saw so many things that I noticed I can change my mindset. I can decide what I want for me and for my family and for the world. So this was the path that I chose to be happy. And sometimes happiness is connected with results, with things. What I realize is that happiness has nothing to do with that. That's why sometimes we see people that they don't have nothing and they are happy. Other people that they have everything, they are happy also. So it depends of the person, not depends of the results. So success for me is much more connected with happiness than with money or personal position or status. So success for me is that it's a feeling or fulfillment. Of course, when we are doing things and when we are working, when we have our own company or when we work for another company, there is a moment that we have to show results so they can pay us for our time. We change sometimes time for money. So if we can combine this and we have an environment where we can work doing things that we love, so we can feel happy. And with that, we can have results things that we can buy, places that we can find. And if we help people so they can understand what make them happy and help them to start the path so they can start doing what they need to do to achieve those results, on that moment we can connect happiness with results, and with that we can achieve success. Usually some authors, they say success is a journey, not a destination. Probably you already have heard that. So, and I believe in that. So as Adil told, life is short. So uh, of course I'm 61. If we sum the two numbers, I'm a 7 years old. So I'm a young guy. So is everything starting? So this kind of approach, I think, is very important in a world where we live today. When we find so many people, they don't feel fulfilled on what they do. So many people that they try to grab things, grab results to find happiness. And when they achieve them, they understand that happiness was already inside of them because it was a decision. So it's a pity when we see people that say, I was working for 20, 30, 40 years to trying to achieve a result, and I lost so many things. Sometimes I lost my family, sometimes I lost my 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 health, and at the end of that, I realized that all the treasures were inside of me, not outside of me. So if we can help people to identify those treasures, to clarify those goals and those values so they can be fulfilled, with that, we can train them to be successful.
Okay, so it's a choice.
It's a choice.
Okay. And I know that Dr. Dill is very involved with EI and is something that's in everyone's mind at this moment, all around the world. Can you give me an example on how EI will change leadership? Because that's also a choice.
Absolutely. That's a great question, Cristina. In fact, I've written a whole article on in Forbes on this leadership. And see, leadership is constantly evolving. And I feel that leadership model is broken today. That is why I teach people on leadership, doing it the right way, because leaders, you know it or not, they have more impact on your men and on their employees' mental health than even a therapist or a spouse sometimes has, because they're constantly, they can really put unnecessary pressure on people. So now, when you ask about AI and leadership, it is going to be, see, AI is, as a lot of the great leaders, Satya Nadella and, Sundar Pichai, all of them have mentioned that this is a transformative thing. This is like finding fire. It's as major find as, and see, AI has been around since the 50s. It's just right now it has gained a lot of traction because of the computing power, right? Or the chips have been developed, the amount of things which we are going to be using, and AI is tremendous benefit to humanity. There is no doubt about it. And with leadership, it is going to, of course, transform it, right? Because leaders are always struggling. Just imagine the way the industry 4.0. So our world has gone through four industrial revolutions. We are on the fourth one. We'll probably be on the fifth one very soon. Usually it takes about 100 years for an industrial revolution. We're rapidly moving. The chart of innovation and what we are doing is a steep curve right now, correct? The humanity, uh, technically, if you see the first revolution, industrial revolution, was around the 1700s, 1770s. How many years has passed so far? Correct? Hardly anything, actually. And we are already on the moon. We are going to Mars. We are trying to do things which is way beyond what you can think. So humanity as a technology company or a technology species has been on this planet just like a blink of an eye, because planet has been around 4.6 billion years, or 4.7, whatever you call it, right? So just in a blink of an eye, we have raised to a whole different level. Obviously, leadership is going to be a challenge. How do you lead something you have no clue what is going to happen, right? And leadership, see, what is happening is there's also a generation shift, right? So the people who are leaders are obviously from a different generation. The new workforce is from a different generation. And this is one of the first times probably is that the new generation may be smarter than the older generation, correct? Because they are born, the first thing they do is play on the iPad and
Yes.
start being
Different
more
skills, yeah,
digital. They can
definitely.
probably hack into anything, smart ones can. So, people are struggling, the leaders are struggling how to manage that. Also, how to use AI. So there are, I lay out three scenarios in my paper. I said there will be a technologically driven leader, there will be a humanistically driven leader, but we need the third kind of leader, which is integrating both of them.
Mhm.
And, because the only if you focus on technology, what is going to happen?
Yeah.
It can lead you into a very different path. We are going to be, developing weapons, developing all the negative things because the humanity is not important at that time. If you're only human centric and don't want to focus on AI, you're missing a big piece because without AI, you won't be able to do everything. So the third piece is the integration. And that is where I think the future leaders who can be more human centric, so use AI for the benefit of human beings, will be the ones who will be most successful in the future. If they try to do it any other way, they'll be short term, definitely be successful, but long term, it'll not be the best solution. So this is my humble opinion on this.
Yeah. And picking up on that opinion, and because I know that Adelino has something closer to that,
Right.
for companies, it is important for their employees and their workers to be happy. What do you have to be happy? Is it something that you can develop, or is it like not natural and you're natural born happy?
For me, the question?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay. Yes, we believe in I have the power that is possible to build a project, what we call a happiness development project, where we can build that on companies.
yeah,
Right now, we have some projects working with companies with 50,000 employees that are our customers that are developing this kind of methodology that we started some time ago. But yes, it's possible. And if we see that approach, the center of that approach is listening people. So it's very interesting because we have some feedback from people that are on those kind of projects of happiness development in companies that they tell things like this. It's the first time that really someone wants to listen to me. So we have companies, they have forms that people write on those forms what they feel, if they are happy. As a company, they have apps. When we have a happiness app, and you say, I'm happy and I'm not happy today. They have very good graphs, reports on that. But they forget a very important thing that is very connected with what Dr. Agdil told connection between humanity and technology, or if, as we used to say in I Have the Power, technology with a human approach, human-centric technology that says, if you're going to make someone happy, you have to listen that person so we can understand what are their values, what are their goals, and even to understand they have mixed values, they have wrong goals. And if they continue on the path that they are going until now, they will not have results, they will not be happy because the path will go to the abyss. So Um, if we start listening to people and we do that on a systematic approach with a project, with a methodology to build that, to get that information, to work on that information. An happiness manager, that is one of the certifications that we deliver, is mainly an information manager. Because when you start listening to people, you get so much information because people open their hearts and start thinking what they think, what they understand is company has to change to grow, what they need company to give them, what they want to give to the company. So when you build this system, you got so much information, so many projects that will start that it's a huge project. So usually what we suggest to start small, with small teams, so we can grow with that information, with that knowledge, to build a knowledge database, a happiness knowledge database. So with that we can grow on the company and to achieve better results. So yes, it's possible. Happiness is a decision, and the projects that will be successful on that, all of them, they have to be the engagement from the top of the board to say, I'm in the top of the company, and I say that we will be happy in the future, so I can be happier, an happier manager, an happier person. I think one of the most interesting things on my profile on my life is to see someone to achieve things. So imagine someone that is on the top of a company, is the top leader of a company, that realizes that because of his decision some years ago to start this process, after some years, he will be, of course, with a lot of money, with a lot of results. He can have houses, islands, airplanes, he can have all of that. But at the end, what he will see is people. And when we realize that he could build all that supported on good people, happy people, I think it will be the top of the fulfillment of a person. On that moment, I believe person can say it was worthy to be alive. The world changed because of I decided some time ago to start my own company, and in a moment to start to build a happy company. I think this will be the future, and we see that all over the world. People, they are desperate to someone to listen to them. Kids are desperate, so their parents listen to them. And on in companies, people are desperate that someone asks them, please tell us what you think we can do to be better. And sometimes companies, they forget that. They are a small Illuminati that they think what will happen to everyone, forgetting to ask the people, what do you need?
Wow, that's a lot to take in. But let me get back to Dr. Adil. And one of the things you said on your last intervention was that the world changes and the world keeps on changing. And I think one of the biggest change we had in last years was COVID. So how did this change the leaders worldwide? What happened? What's going on for now? I think you have to unmute. Sorry, sorry.
You're right.
Thank you.
Sorry. So I think very insightful question. I think we are coming back to a little bit of more normalcy after COVID, but boy, of course it was tremendously negative on this planet. The impact was negative on employees, on leaders, but there were a lot of lessons we learned, a lot of lessons on humanity. It was almost like a social experiment, which was not the best experiment to ever run on a global scale.
Yeah.
Correct? We could never have imagined that the whole world will literally stopped spinning. Can you imagine that? That nothing was happening for a couple of years. It's like not even in our wildest dreams we could have thought that. Would you agree?
Yes,
Yes.
You
totally.
know, it was something which came to us so suddenly and really took us all. And obviously, we lost a lot of lives, but people do not realize that what it has also taught us, humans need other humans. Okay. So there was definitely a positive side. We also learned that we can use technology. We don't have to be at the workplace to be successful, correct? So a lot of companies learned, leaders learned that, hey, just give them a laptop or, give them access to internet and they'll be, doing probably more because then 24 hours we can expect them to work. That was one, thing which came out. But very few people know that there was research done that the brains, okay, of these teenagers who were under COVID, solitary confinement almost, actually grew by 14 years. Okay. So for the male, the growth was slightly different. For the females, it was much worse. The impact on the brain was just massive. So we are trying to understand that just being alone with technology. That is why AI and other things we are talking about. We got to be careful because we are talking about it from productivity and everything, but we are not talking about from a impact on the human self, the human brain, the neuroscience of it is. We need to study more. We need to
Mhm.
study this more, uh, because technically solitary confinement is a punishment, is one of the severest form of punishment. And we
Yeah,
literally did that to our whole population. Can you imagine that we
yeah,
put our whole population through that? Because obviously we didn't know initially, but even after we knew, what can we do? So I think this is a step back moment. If we do not learn from this experiment, if we do not learn from such a painful lesson, the other things are coming our way. The world is changing. Will definitely be something else coming our way. And if we have not learned lessons, we are going to repeat this and create more problems. So the whole thing is, yes, it has happened. What did we learn from it? And put some proactive steps in place right now so that we don't make the same mistakes again.
yeah, yeah. So going back to Adelino, having this idea of change, what are the leaders of the world needing right now to make us happier?
Well, I will say they have to, all of them, if possible, to profit from our next event that me and Adil will build. I think this is the first suggestion. So if you have
Yeah,
any possibility to be you aspire to be a leader, you are a leader, you have to spend some time with us.
yeah.
So at least we can stop and think.
Okay.
This is very important. So people need to stop. It's usual today on the corporate arena when we try to have a meeting, we have to ask them, can we have a 50 minutes meeting online? And people usually say, we don't have time. We don't have time. We don't have time for anything. There is an example of one of my customers that told me, Adelino, I'm so completely focused on my business, I don't have even time to take care of me to go to a doctor. And I told her, you have to change that. But the person is on the real estate area. So I told her, I have a friend of mine, and it's not Adil yet, it's, I imagine another one, that is coming to Portugal and is a huge investor on real estate. And he will be here next week for 2 days to check some places to invest. And probably it will be nice if you can imagine a breakfast, to have breakfast with him on his hotel to check if he's available to work with you. Of course, Dr. Adelino, I will remove everything from my agenda and I will reserve to be on that breakfast with that huge investor. So I told the person, please fill on your agenda. So Thursday next week from 8 a.m. until 10, doctor. So the problem with people on the leadership, it is not the problem of time. It is not the problem of personal development. It's the problem of priorities. They need to put themselves first. And sometimes they put everything, the company, the employees, the stakeholders, on the first time, and they forget themselves. So I think this is the first decision. Pay you first, put yourself first, because if a leader is not happy, you will spread unhappiness all over the place. If the leader starts to be happy, even by his example, he will change the company. He will change all the environment. So everything starts on each one of us. Everything starts on the leader.
And if you're not a leader, you're led, is there anything that you can do to be happier too in your work environment?
You know, when we are born, we are leaders.
Mm.
You know, so every kid is a leader. Can you imagine that a kid, without speaking, put everything working for him, without speaking, only smiling, only giving recognition or crying? So we are all leaders. Leadership is not a genetic thing, or if it was, everyone could lead. To lead, it's both of the cases a skill that we can develop, something that we can train, something that we can understand and share with others. So everyone is a leader. So the first thing that everyone has to do is to lead himself. So what I'm talking for the leader of a major company is the same for the leader of a family, or leader of a community, or even a sole person that I say, I will change my own life. I will transform my life on something that is worthwhile living. So I decide to lead my brain. I usually say, if you don't lead yourself, you will never be able to lead others. So
Yeah.
so everyone can take care of this.
Okay. Thank you. That was deep. Dr. Adil, I know you've been recently talking in Davos and about peace. Is the world leaders ready for peace? Are the companies of the world ready for peace, or is just talk?
Good question. It's a tough thing, right? It's a tough thing. I spoke on a panel at Davos. There was a great, really amazing people on the panel. And our vision is by 2030, we make peace more profitable than war. That's a very short time frame, but I think the universe is coming together to support. Okay, I think so much negativity, so much hurt from what are we gaining? We are coming back to the same circle, correct? It is just creating more pain, more. So, as humanity, as I said, we have to learn some lessons.
Yeah.
And for centuries, war has not got us anything. And the thing is, the war, the peace has not brought any. Nobody can. If I tell you what is peace, what look like in future, we cannot define it. That is the problem. Each leader will have a totally different vision of what they'll look at it from their point of view, but there is no global vision on peace. And that is what is so important, is that peace today, is not something you can achieve through the old kumbaya way, where we hold hands, we sit down around a fire and we say we want peace. That notion of peace is gone.
Yeah.
The notion of peace is gone. We really need to find a different way to bring peace, and we need to bring a peace warrior ahead, someone who's truly there. And a warrior is not someone who fights external battles, is a person who fights internal battles.
Yeah.
That is what is important, because when you are at peace yourself, you are not getting into trouble, you're not causing problems for others. You are moving towards a more higher consciousness level. And that is why one of the programs I'm developing, or I've developed, and it's in my book, is on a higher level consciousness of leadership. We need them. And at a global level, the more leaders come together, think alike of what we can do, but not take a back seat on it, not allow things to happen. They have to act. And when that happens, we are definitely going to change, and we are going to get a level of peace which is better than what we are right now. It's never going to be perfect, because humanity has there is, the goodness and the evil, both sides of the coin sometimes are there. So how do you make sure that the good exceeds the negative? When that happens, so peace will be not eliminating the negative or the evil. It'll be who is on a higher side. What is the percentage of people on this planet which are focused on the higher consciousness, are fighting their own battles and winning their own battles, and not creating problems for others, not trying to, cheat or try to take things from others, which technically belongs to others. So when that happens, peace will be, and I'm very positive that it will happen, because I think there are a lot of good things happening today in the world, and I'm very positively optimistic about this. So.
Oh, wow, there's so much to unpack there, and we're coming to the end of our time, so I have to thank you both. But before we go, obviously, Adelino, do you want to talk a little bit more about all the events that you're planning with Dr. Dill, and what can we expect from you both in the
Yes,
next?
what we agree is to develop joint ventures, joint programs with Dr. Adil and his company also, so we can build programs that can go in those directions that we spoke here. This is a journey that we are building, that we're creating. So what I suggest is that you follow our own companies, our social networks, to see what will happen in the future, and we will have different opportunities along the way, so people can share also with us what they think, what they are their needs, and with that help us to build programs that really come across and change what they will able to do on themselves to change, because we really know that no one can be changed if they don't want to change. So there is a moment, there is a saying that says when the student is ready, the master appears.
Yeah.
So that's the idea. So it was a blessing to go to Dubai and meet Dr. Adil. It was an immediate connection. We didn't knew each other, but we understood there was something around it. It's like an iceberg, an iceberg. You see the top of the iceberg, and we don't understand the rest, and then we can start going deep and deep and deep. And there is so much knowledge that we can learn from Dr. Agdil. So much experience that he has, so many connections that he has that the world needs to understand that this can happen. So that's why I was so impressed, and we decided to start this journey with Dr. Adil. And I would like to give a thank you to Cristina also, to be able to be with us, because she was part of this birth, because she was also with us in Dubai, and it was
Yeah.
a special moment. Yes,
Yeah,
thank you.
you spend a lot of time together, both of you talking. Yes, yes.
Yes.
Yeah, it was true. Yeah, I was there and I saw it. Yes. Dr. Dill, what can we expect from both of us, both of you in the future?
So first of all, again, thank you, Christina, and thank you, Adelino. I don't know if our parents had met before, but You know, we're like Dr. Adil and Adelino, Dr. Adelino House. You know?
Yes.
It's uncanny, right? Or like almost similar names. So, and you're on the other part of the world. I'm on a different part of the world, but our minds are so connected. Minds are so connected. That is why I travel around the world. I've taught in over 23 countries, but it's all about human connections, and that is what has happened in Dubai. In just one evening where we never met before, we knew something universe was working with us to connect us, and the timing was right for us to do something big. And so, we just met last year, late last year, and we've already starting to build programs which will really, the whole idea is, yes, it's, transferring the knowledge to the next level. Really, we both have different backgrounds, but we all, coming together, forming that peak, right? We can reach the peak from different angles, and we both have scaled the mountain somewhat, correct? Or not?
Yes.
And the whole idea is we can keep going further, or we can pull others with us.
Yes.
And I think what we are trying to do is pull others with us, because that is where true humanity is, just climbing up and keeping on going. That is one way to feel successful, but that success is short lived. You'll always be alone. So when you want to go far, you always have to go together. And that is what this year is about, is to, you know, Dr. Adil and Dr. Adelino is a team working together around the world. It's not only,
Double A team, yeah.
yes, double A team. So we're trying to, really make people see things in a different way, and to really show them the results. That is the bottom line, is the results, the transformation. So,
Yeah,
you know,
and it will be great. I knowing you will be great, just great. So thank you for your time. Thank you to
Thank you.
all the persons who are watching this, and we'll keep on. I do hope you find us in our social media and follow us. And if you're a leader, and if you're not a leader, but if you want to know how to become a leader, maybe you should attend one of the next programs that Dr. Adelino and Dr. Adil are doing. So thank you for your time.
thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.
Thank you, Cristina. Thank
Thank
you,
you,
Adil.
Cristina.
See you next
Thank
time.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Appreciate it. Thank you.